Another morning again inside Riyadh. Plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country Riyadh. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now Riyadh, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, usai we go bring to una different guests dem wey dey can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside Riyadh. Plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country Riyadh. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now Riyadh, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of a program we call Colres right on Riyadh, YouTube and on Facebook, so we can discuss issues them where they come from the front page of the different newspaper there. And at some points, we can count issues that were relevant, where the paper they not carry, where we can put them to the guests and for let we get the reaction on them things and they. So we're not waste any much time. We'll go straight into the program and begin look at the front page, where the different newspaper them don't publish for today. And we'll go straight and they go take the first paper for this morning, where now the Gleaner newspaper. The Gleaner newspaper saying 2025, Sierra Leone economy projected to grow at 3.8%. The role of technology in transforming Sierra Leone's energy market and investing in Africa's digital future, a conversation with AfriCell. And we also get the next paper on the AZ newspaper. We say Kappa congratulate President Bio on his re-election. Failing to appear in court, Justice Fisher strikes out APC's election case in 5 cities. One goal is Sierra Leoneans unconventional journey to study business, Chinese. And future President Bio champions gender equality for inclusive governance, and Koidu government hospital a mortuary in their need of refrigerators. This is another story for inside this edition of the AZ newspaper. The next one, now the women's voice, we say President beyond champion of female political inclusion. Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria says, and Women's Forum President says election were credible, fair and inclusive. Women are excited indeed. Thank you, Gender Empowerment Act. Sierra Leonean pilgrim in Mecca pleased with hospitality. The next paper, an Independent Observer, will say 9 sacked as State House and APC top brass to boycott taking part in governance. The next paper where we get inside the program this morning at the News 24, we say APC's politics of revenge will never go away and judiciary fires back. Sierra Leoneans pilgrims in Mecca pleased with hospitality. The next paper on the Premier News, we say judiciary refutes APC claims and judge throws out APC case against ECSL. FIFA supports schools. What some Sierra Leoneans, expect the government to focus on in 6 months. The next paper at the Future Media, we say no weapon fashioned against him shall prosper. ONS boss proves his leadership qualities. President Bill reappoints NASIT DG. Focus 24/7 say being Sierra Leone's only female seed analyst, Dr. Veronica Sise says, he calls for quality seed testing for food security. I take that again. Being Sierra Leone's only female seed analyst, Dr. Veronica Sise calls for quality seed testing for food security. APC rejects court action to settle elections concern and sleepless night for ministers. The next one at the daybreak we say APC drops bombshell and CSO gives 24 hours ultimatum, ECSL in hot water. Freetown Post at the next paper will say Justice Fisher dismisses APC's case and consumer price inflation rises to 44.43%. Sky Women's World Network winding up operations. The next one at the Apex newspaper, we say clean up begins. BO sacks 9 State House staff and disgraceful. Civil society beg for government appointments. Well, now all the people and this is what we get inside the program this morning. For let we actually come and discuss the different issues them inside the program. So we'll go straight, we're not wasting any more time. We'll go to our very first guest we don't get inside the program this morning. Well, this person not to change and also that person this way actually don't they look at different issues them, don't they analyze them, don't they make 2 turn to 4, 1 turn to 2, half plus r, 1 is equal to 1 and 2, so they don't do a lot of things them in the media, and a person this way don't work with different media organization them, for make sure say then develop them better one. Well, it only give best anytime we appear on this platform for discuss the different issues them with the newspaper and the carry. So on that note, we welcome we guest for this morning we're in a Theophilus Benda. Welcome to the program, Koreas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presenter.
All right. Thank you for what you joined me inside the program this morning. So let me look at the issues then quick one. First of all, the first question I will ask you, we just don't come up by election, and maybe the question could be waiting now your general assessment so far with regards to the election, taking into consideration the kind of observation mission that we don't give their own statement, and as a journalist, what you observe generally from the election, from the electoral process, so the day we will cast to vote, so the time where they announce the election, so the time it result into the time where they swear in Marabio. So please, let me get your take on that one day. Then say married with the from the bachelor scene.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. Well, the election, they don't come and go. There are many issues where come up during the election. The campaign process, we get some issues. Also, we hear about some cases of violence in some areas, although some will say isolated cases. But we know that at least we get few people were lost their life. Some people get injured. They burn some houses. Where you say they also burn the APC party office, Nabo, and the kind of thing they did. Then even before the election, we get a lot of talk about the voters register. The voters register be there in very serious contention because the All People's Congress, one of the main opposition party, they say ECS don't deliberately refuse to give them the document. And then ECS said their own argument was that they don't give the documents already, but that they eliminate certain information, whether for do like the age, the address, and some other sensitive information of the voters then. So in other words, they give a skeletal register to the APC where at least they indicate the number of voters that each and every polling station in the country. Of course, we see at the end of the day, on polling day, we will get some massive turnout by people all over the country. And we thank God, for example, in Afritoya, we not see any rain. Because now one thing that where plenty of people have been engaged for say rain will come seriously, we will disturb people them zest to go out and vote. But thankfully, rain not come at all, so everybody go out and vote in the thousands.
So you notice or observe or see any case, for example, like what thing happened during the registration when they turn away some people and we like not get the opportunity for voting as much as they be the register, they get the ID card, but they not find the name then at the register.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, say before the election, the APC we put out a press statement for say ECSL don't delete thousands of names from the register. So we don't know if the one that we don't go through the registration process, they go through the verification process, they get the ID cards, they sign for the ID card, and when they go vote, they say you name not day. Even me, who said me go vote? There were a number of people who were duly registered, they were carrying their voters card, but their names were not in the register. So that was a very serious thing. I mean, what me to say, those people were seriously, if not deliberately, disenfranchised.
And that's all the problem in this very opposition be see when make them raise concerns.
Exactly, I know. But you see, NEC, they know exactly what thing they be the work towards. So they were very, very adamant for even respond to a certain question. Because even the ECS boss at one time said, you're not ready for answer to any question from anybody. I mean, you know, people say they carry a public office. So how can you say that? That's the $1 million question. You say, but anyway, going back to the voters, to the voting day, we see a number of polling stations that were open in time or on time. Then we see a number of polling stations them were not opening on time across the country. Whether that was a deliberate action is something else to look at. Because for the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, even ECSL confirmed, so because certain polling stations they open late and people were already in the queue, in some areas, the voting go on till midnight.
And the worst example we see, in Sentence, you know, when St. Joseph Primary School, they open 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock even 10.
Can you imagine? And certain of the areas then where the voting go on till midnight till 1 o'clock, you don't even get other party agents than they. So anything could have happened. Anything could have happened, right? So anyway, the key thing is that for me believe say voting get a starting time and it forgets an ending time. If they say 7 to 5, let it be 7 to 5. Whether they're at the queue, 5 o'clock. And also they're not plenty because nobody never go wait until the dying minute for go vote. Nobody, even me, I went to vote around 12 midday. So for let us say voting go on till 12 midnight, so observe 2 a.m. I think they were doing something else, not voting.
Okay, so let's look at the announcement of the results so far. The kind way how the ACSL boss, do the announcements very, very fast and everything. First 60% and finally Yeah, and that's the final result, you know. In as much
All
as
right.
other people
Thank
get
you.
concerned as well, you know, where they is.
Yes.
Observers they get a lot of concerns then.
Yes.
Opposition get concerns then, but yet still they go ahead. What do you make up of this?
All right. So now the announcements of the results after the controversial tallying or tabulation process.
Why you call that
Because with the tabulation
controversial?
process, I say controversial. I say controversial because I am made to understand that there was an agreement between ECSL and the contesting political parties and even international observers for said tabulation to be done through a projection, that is tabulation or tallying centers. At the end of the day, we not see that happening. So in other words, those who are there from the various political parties for observe and monitor the tabulation process, they never saw what was being inputted. Because only according to the ABC, the press statement, and other people, them, even the international community, they say that only ECSL, they get access to the original data, and that then will be they put them out. So who knows what will have happened? And I make, if I not say, the international observers, them, a number of them, including some local observers, they question the transparency and credibility of the process.
The tabulation process. That means the tallying. The time where they decide and they count and put figures together.
Exactly. So they question the transparency and credibility or integrity of the process. They say now one get fish, relative, then they spread the whole blind. Then they spread the whole blind. So if the tabulation process, right, has been questioned, has been not transparent, not credible, or not get the requisite integrity, then the entire process is under question.
But wait, now, according to Marabio, you know, all of them concerned that they come up, you know, APC team up with some jump with man them, you know, and then APC no, then they lost the election. Peter Conte no, APC they lost the election. So that is why there will always be the crying babies.
No, you understand the point. You understand it? Sometimes it's good to lose honorably. It's also good to win honorably. Right? But I cannot win an election that international observers they question the transparency, credibility, and integrity of the process. It's a shame. I don't want to beat anyone that say, oh, well, this man he does take advantage of because we get a situation we are in. I mean, state capture at play. Because who do we have at the ECSL? Who do we have at the ECSL? You might ask yourself the question, whose service or whose interests was it there to seek and protect?
The PPRC as well.
And the PPRC as well,
and
of
the
course.
court
The PPRC as well. So I went on a television program. I said the president, because if you talk about a free and fair election, then the referees, if I say the international matches, if Salon they go play against Gabon, sometimes the referee they put on Nigeria, or they put on Senegal, or they put on England, because the referee is as important as the process. Is the referee is already, a surrogate. Then what do you expect? So what I say is that there were two prominent predictions as to the outcome of the election. One was by the IGR, Institute of Governance Reform. Where they put out a statement for saying President Bio in first term, a campaign manifesto promises he was only able to deliver 35.5%. And then IGR do another survey and say, as far as the results they show, President Bio will get slightly over 56%, meaning there's going to be no runoff. No runoff. And that was the agenda of the SFPP and President Bio, that there is going to be absolutely no runoff. And even President Bio can say he is going to have at least 65% of the votes in the first ballot, and that there will not be any thinking about second round.
So you come up with a point of
wait. I want to make 1 minute.
Go ahead.
One point. Because according to the ECSL, the campaign timetable, right? And this, I read them from an article written by Cornelius DeVoe.
That will be APC person.
Where he said they not make any provision, any budgets, or any timetable. Nothing was stated in the campaign or in the election timetable like a runoff. Which means they already knew, or ECSL already knew, that there was going to be no runoff. Because if you make an election calendar and not put first ballot, you not put a runoff, then some questions will come up, obviously. But anyway, the key thing is that Silver Blindly set the count in prediction. For say President Bio will get 51%. We're not going to reach the threshold for avoid no runoff or for avoid a runoff, right? So at the end of the day, we finally say the prediction will come out, not that of the IGR. And if finally say as they announce the results, less than 1 hour after the announcement of the results, the swearing in already don't take place. And me, I feel to say, we really need to put a check on this swearing in. There is a talk now whether the swearing in, whether there was a mad rush for do the swearing in, or whether it go the normal way, this and that. But what do they say? Whether there was a mad rush or not, the Constitution so provides that the president will be sworn in immediately after the announcement of results. Me feel to say, we will review that aspect of the Constitution. And I make one of the greatest disappointments by President Bio, and the fact say, throughout this first term of in 5 years, he not do anything significant about reviewing the Constitution. And I fear say he will do back this other 5 years without reviewing or without setting the stage for the review of the Constitution. This was something that was supposed to have been done by Ernest Koroma, but Ernest Koroma, of course, was not serious about his presidency. He was far from being serious about his presidency. So he allowed many things to go wrong. So we will think to say President Bio, as he come in with a new direction message, most of those blunders of President Koroma, former, if I don't correct him, and easily become the most popular president. Because the way President Bio campaigned for this election, where, mind you, he started campaigning 3 months before they even announce before they even declare campaign open.
So I think that understatement, they begin campaign 3 months before the registration people begin. Because if they don't begin do a tour before the registration.
Well, what did he say? Conservatively, he began campaigning and he crisscrossed the entire country.
Like go over the country like 2 or 3 times.
Oh yes. So, and during the campaign process, he went all over the place because he had unhindered access everywhere. Whilst the opposition, they were kind of limited to only places where you call the strongholds. Right? So that makes some may even say, me don't know, because me not go offline for a long time now. They say, you will see President Bio in campaign banners all over the country, including the northern province. But that after he passed Moyamba Junction, they say not go find any other candidates in campaign
and not so because they're not put on, but because they're not getting, and the people are not getting access for do that. Because we see na Bonds, na Pujao, na Kailan, and they pull on and they check and they beat and then the video themselves for them.
Exactly. And funnily, we see the arrests and charge to court and even sentence a number of people where they say they arrest them because they will chair President Bio in campaign banner. But we don't really say they arrest anybody where chair Sama Kamara Iyon campaign.
And interestingly, the SLPP supporter them the video themselves when they check and Samuel and Banner.
Oh yes. And nothing happened. No one was arrested. No one was arrested. Absolutely no one was arrested.
Okay, let's touch quickly on this issue of IGR again. I always get interest on IGR because of the role where they play right now in this kind of democracy in our country. You know, before this time, it may look like say they may look balanced in terms of how they do this, but this time around they look like say the coin look the turn and favor this government than any other thing because the 56 points something percent where they predict now exactly ECSL come up with.
Yes, well, me and Apostle will not like to make categorical statement because as far as me concerned, IGR now one of the most credible research entities in the country. One of the most credible research entities. So if already
let me ask you this question. You know, I love that you say now one of the most credible. You know, you still they give them the credibility cap?
Yes, I will.
Let's look at this thing for example. Let's look at this thing. Let's put some things into you. You know, you get right to your opinion, and me self when they ask me question, I might be biased. You know, it's for ask, but let's ask you this question. The IGR, the time where this government come, where a lot of people in the cry about how the government thinks them difficult and hard. Now the time it come and say 70% of the population trust the government, and then tell them that we know it in terms of trusting. You are aware of that report, say?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so what do you make of that at that particular point? We know say they're good pan survey. They always don't they do survey, and they're very much prompt than any other institution.
Well, unfortunately, because I am hearing this from you, that IDA reports come out and say 70% of the people are happy or pleased with the government. I am not.
That can be the first report, even before the COVID.
Okay, I cannot speak to that because I mean, maybe in the next coming, I mean, I will can do more research now and try to lay eyes on that, and I will speak to it vividly. You know, why make I say for me, I believe say IGR still remain credible, and because of the same IGR will come up with an independent report for say President Bio, a campaign promise delivery stands at 35.5%, which shows a complete failure.
Okay, so in just a few months after they pull another one say this man even though in campaign at this, but he still win 56 point something percent.
Exactly. That are based on the other research that they do, and I cannot question that research because you see, they can entity then they're supposed to maintain high level credibility all the time.
I love the word. I love the word. But suppose.
Motaman. But me, I like to speak. I mean, on issues
where you are aware of, where you grounded
100% sure about. Understand? So, but the key thing, go on. Yes, go on, please.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So let's stay today on this issue of the IGR when a civil society. Let's look at this paper quickly. When at the Apex newspaper, it gets this thing where you say, for example, and this one I go back up on for the first time with video. Like waiting this Apex newspaper say, it say disgraceful. Civil society beg for government appointment. So the question now is, waiting exactly this they talk about. So let's watch this video quickly and let we put it into context. Please just hold on, let's just play it quickly. I don't know if you go here, but let's attempt and see if you can do. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let me hasten to inform you that if there is popular involvement of civil society in governance programs and activities, there is little or no room for suspicion. And we call on your governance, sir. This time, civil society, not for just invite we for law we camp a meeting and say civil society then they are. Not for also put we on boards. But we want portfolio positions where civil society then will also feel that. We call on portfolio positions. His Excellency, sir, it will surprise you to know that in the civil society arena of Sierra Leone, we have academic doctors. we have engineers, we have the legal barristers, we have people who are accountants, agriculturists, to name but few. His Excellency, if you make use of those ones, it's civil society appointed to a portfolio in governance, then you can see the reality of operations. Before now, we are turned to the evil society, but we want to assure you, with your coming, you change that narrative, and we want to say, before it is a parochial thinking, and that's my openness. You come, you wipe them, you bring we on board. We thank you, sir. Please, sir, His Excellency, the Vice President, Honorable Vice President, Chief Minister, will now note this. It is very much disheartening. They are a particular community. Say civil society. Sometimes even the workshops have bad, they don't call you past workshop again. So this is now a problem, and we are qualified to the task. Myself standing here, I'm a graduate with BSc in Human Resource Management. I get HCC, secondary school, I get BSc. But His Excellency, for the past years, honestly speaking, the Honorable Vice President, I don't meet with her, and I don't present a position paper on the civil society movement of the Northern region. And he said, be talker. He said, no, there is a need. Civil society will not only just left by this talk. He said, will not come in governance. And we want let that become practical. And because this governance is a practicality government, and it's a government where they put things in real place. And we are here today. His Excellency, we...
Theophilos.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so first of all, I ask you, what is supposed to be the role of a civil society?
All right. Well, civil society is supposed to be a watchdog, for be a pressure group. But myself want to ask, do you know who was talking?
I think they represent all of the civil society in this particular meeting.
A name for come up. We for know who is talking, because we can always make a very good assessment when we know whose voice is that. Because as far as me concerned, yeah, it's nothing wrong for the government appoint people from the civil society, where government people say they get what it take, right? But then everything is wrong for the CSO or for that individual, because it's that individual. I'm not sure whether he was talking for the civil society.
No, but all of them, yeah. No, wait, Theophilos.
I want to know.
Theophilos, when this man they making statements say they want portfolio, we see all of the civil society within the room, then grab and begin clap for, and that means it speak their mind.
Well, it depends. It depends which category of civil society people we are in that meeting.
Well,
you get two categories of civil societies in this country. You get the pro-government, and you get the one that way people say they for stand in the middle of the road and do what they for do as CSOs. So we want to know who exactly we are there. Whether he was talking for the civil society generally, or he was speaking for himself. I
think as you talk and the discourse, I need for fan in him because in him go quite stay inside the. Let's just go through the video quickly again. The original video, not this one. So continue. Let's just go through and quickly.
All right, sure, no problem. So, like I said, they're not for the civil society people in government. Because we know people will come out from civil society and become ministers. For example, Petito with the civil society, and even the vice president. The vice president, I understand, he was in the civil society. He was in the civil society, right? You get a number of other people there. Richard Conte, he be there in the civil society. Many others. So now, like I said, there is nothing wrong with bringing in people from the civil society where the government or the president people say they get what it takes. But they should not beg for it. They should not beg for it. Why should they beg? Beg for what? You say? So me not people say that's correct. I don't think to say that's correct at all. For let's see so they go big. Now I say I want to know whose voice was that. right? Because it's easy for know exactly, where the man is coming from. At a time when shadows.
Please, let just get a name for him from himself, okay? I don't know if you go here, but let's just get quickly for let you get them for himself. Let's just get them.
Yeah. I don't listen, but in name.
Yeah, na name at the talk. In name. Himself will give you name because if you finally himself talk in name, let we all hear him. So listen and quickly.
Across the country, standing here today on your behalf, I am Kumoba Lusain Kamara, Secretary General for Civil Society Movement and Coalition, Northern Region. I'm here to deliver a message to His Excellency the President.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah. Kumoba. All right. Maybe he was talking for the civil society people in the north or whatever. I don't know really. But it's not even a popular name in the civil society fraternity, because I am also part of the civil society body.
With the same, maybe Indian at the north, that is why most of them are not able to, but it's popular. Because one thing we be concerned about, you very right that the president can appoint person from any facet of the society, yeah? Any pathway one for invite or any side one for take person, again right for do that one day. Nobody know they against that one day. But what's the problem now? If everybody from civil society, because now that it don't make this kind of statement, what it simply means? It means say that that system of liberalism, therefore they come up. Because now they always want for the day in the good book of the president for them is reason for being them come in the government. When means say things go get for they happen when are the right thing, they know they talk them, they know they go about them, then just they get blind eyes. Because they want recognition, because they want position.
Exactly. And especially when he was not speaking for himself.
Yes.
He said he speak on behalf of the civil society movement or whatever you call them. Whether that movement is registered, whether that movement, I don't know really. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that listening to him, look, the man is both say, in degree, this and so is he also expecting an appointment?
Well, now that he put say they need appointment, they need portfolio. And say anybody when they get portfolio right on a ministerial position and they get portfolio, no?
I know.
Yeah, minister with portfolio, not minister with minister without portfolio. So if you then say they need portfolio, means say they get for do all what they're able for do for fed in a way inside that portfolio. Then.
Exactly. And coming at a time, because I understand say some civil society people then go gather themselves, they go congratulate the president, So again, you want to ask yourself, at this crucial moment, when the observers they don't put out all the kind of concerns, then they this and that. They will not go congratulate the president. For me, it's like them losing their space for serve as a go-between if there's any issue, right, between the government and the opposition, because they should be able to be in the middle.
And then we look
for talk to the APC
and
talk to the SFP
part here. It's possible for just person woman group them just call the president say one can meet with you, and it be like this for the past 1 week. The president don't meet with different people, and when are they call and say they want to meet with them, or that's the only possible when the president choose for call them come.
Well, me honest, according to what I know, and according to what I hear, they say that then they try to book appointments for go see and congratulate the president. Now, just I think yesterday or so, you get the motor drivers, you get the Okada riders, you get the Keke riders, you get the National Farmers Association. Then tomorrow, I understand say a delegation they come from Kono for go congratulate the president. And we don't see Women's Forum and other bodies that say don't go congratulate the president. We don't see quite a number of others. Just kind of legitimizing the outcome of the election. Whether it is something that is planned at State House or whether it is by design, or whether it is people who are generally calling, say one can congratulate the president, and then they break a booking for them. I don't know. But what to me is that then people don't know where they come. In fact, for example, the paramount chiefs, the paramount chief, Amino, and the local traditional heads, they were there at State House for congratulate the president and say they don't have nothing as far as they're concerned. President they win, and that's it. I mean, so what am I going to say? So
I see this again as one big problem, not only for Manabio, but for we leaders then. I find out, say, most of them like bootlicking. In other words, they just like whether they praise them and not they tell them to. And that's not responsible largely for USA we find ourselves right now. Because if we don't get people where they stand up to the power and tell them the truth, like for example in South Africa, we talked about this the other day, Archbishop, Desmond Tutu, we always don't stand up for things that way, they go on right in the country, until the last time we taking breath. We're not getting people in there. Everybody now, where the president want for see, now that they can tell and thank you, whether we can sing for them, whether we can praise them, but who that they stand up and say, pa, this way do so not correct, so they not like them. Why is it with this kind of syndrome right now in our country? You think say we country not ready for move to the positive direction?
Well, honestly speaking, plenty of people where we don't talk to, they say Sierra still on the crossroad. Right? There is every indication that President Biafra don't win the election, even with a runoff. It's possible that President would have won. But I think what happened is merely to avoid a delicate runoff. So it's a delicate, it's a crucial situation. We are talking about, right? So now. They get a consciences, they know who's Salonde, they know who's Salonde, they aspire for go under the new direction. As far as they are concerned, they see, and nothing wrong with the electoral process. APC can gumble. They say if APC want, let them go to court. I understand, say APC indeed go to court, but later on they can say they don't get confidence in the court system. So even the matter has been thrown outside court.
So the case when they go to court for now the one before the election, also they go ask the court for ask and corner for pull the data, and secondly the other issue where and they look at the legitimacy of corner. But after the election, they're not there going to court at all.
Well, perhaps they will withdraw the matter day. They will withdraw the matter day, other than they wait until judgment is passed. And now judgment has been passed, and I understand say a cost was levied.
2,000.
I don't know how much. How much?
2,000, 2 million euros.
Oh, 2 million euros?
Yes, in the
old
millions. 2,000 millions.
Can you imagine that? It's so interesting, eh? It's so interesting. That about tell you say the court never will treat the matter with seriousness, and that the costs that does for tell and say, you guys, you go and sit down. You go and sit down. But maybe to say, the judgment is an embarrassment for the APC. Because if the lobby wants, for them to rule against them, if they don't go withdraw the matter and say, we not trust, because now they don't put out a press statement, even calling for the resignation of the Chief Justice. Right? And me not fit to say political party for those who don't and say, we want let the IG, let them sack the IG, or the IG for resign, the head of military for resign, the Chief Justice for resign, the this and that for resign. I don't support that kind of move. I don't support that kind of move. Because not to you appoint them. Not to you appoint them. Right? The president ain't get the authority for hire and fire. That constitutional mandate and privilege. So now make me the president. If I use that privilege there and not for embark on what we call state capture, use that privilege there for the very good of the country. Because the ultimate the president say, I will put the interest of the country above everything else, including your personal interest. But if you put your man in a strategic places, then you are not serving the interest of the country, and it's a disservice. to the nation. So that is what I will say to that. So I think, President Bio, whatever way you call it now, he has won this election, right? Democracy. I said democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if the outcome of this election is skewed just for avoid a runoff, then posterity go judge the one that were there behind this. If President Bio win genuinely again, then it's fine. Right? Me, there's no problem. Me, as far as me concerned, all me waiting me care for now the results. It's not just about wanting to be president or to stay in power. It's about having the capacity to deliver.
All right.
The capacity to deliver. The sincerity of purpose.
Interestingly, you just connect the discussion them again. Let's look at this one where you say the sincerity for deliver. As we talk about delivery, we see 9 advisors them from the office of the president where they don't already, lay off, they don't sack. Amongst them, now the great Lunge Bridge, the airport, person will be in charge of that. When John Tambi, we see, John Oponjo Benjamin, we see Raymond do Caesar George, and plenty of other one them where then at the presidential advisory team, they don't lay off. 9 of them. What do you make up of this? Because now, according to what you understand, the ministers themselves, they get sleepless nights because they're next.
So, honestly speaking, it came as a shock because these are people who were Mother Bio fanatics. And I think they can only tell the president what sweetens his ears.
Okay, so now you don't go back to waiting and they tell you. If then people are all return one for the sing praises for the president, then they deceive them, and largely they're not responsible for waiting people and they refer to as say certain cases them the president not able to deliver on some of his promises then.
So what we will say, what I suspect is that some of these people, it is possible that President Bio just want to change their nomenclatures and reassign them somewhere else.
There you go again. It might be said they want to make some of the ministers. But if you want to make the ministers, why not just the pull a release say I replace you like what you use for do say Dr. Tambi will come up from the from the advisory committee, the kind of the Ministry of Infrastructure. It will as he normally do, but this time around, he give instruction to the accountant general. And when he give instruction, he say immediately they don't get salary.
Yes, I think to say the way where the president do well, I know say disrespectful because the president has the power to hire and fire. But what you mean, I'm going to put them because if you see the press statement, it said the services of the undermentioned people have been terminated with immediate effect. Terminated with immediate effect. I think to say they're not giving people the kind of respect because the offices where they occupy are very strategic offices. So for that kind of people and they with those strong words, I think to say that was very disrespectful in review. And I don't know how they will perceive them, but like I said, I suspect they might, some of them, if not even all, but some of them it's very likely because some of them are old. Like look, imagine Raymond De Silva,
Susan George, Susan George Ullman now, yeah.
I'm not ever able to say, what did he ever do? He did nothing as far as I'm concerned. He did nothing in that capacity.
You know to say so because you're just advisor. When me say he could just call the president, a talk 9 years. That's all. Then I'd advise he will.
And because free money that they eat back, free money that they chop. But imagine like Madam Kona Kurma, now be very strategic person when like a mama to Marabio. I mean, for let them pull it all in this kind of manner, I feel to say, I mean, and something else is coming.
So and becoming a mother and taking up your responsibility are two different things.
Yes, I understand. But not the way where they communicate the message that their services have been terminated with immediate effect. You see, that's what we say.
And at the first time, they use that language.
Yes, it happened under President Kurma. It happened. It
No,
happened
under this government, at the
President
first time this we hear that language in.
No, I'm not sure. You sure?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
all of the time, they place the president for terminate. It's just to say replace.
It has pleased, yeah,
Yeah, for replace.
Exactly.
Or for, in fact, they don't say replace in some cases. They don't say it has pleased the president to appoint this person in this capacity.
Exactly.
And once you see that they vote in the other person already, but in this case, it says terminate.
So, that means the president is yet to decide on possible replacements of those people.
And
so
if you not decide yet, why in this case, you bring this point up, say the word where he use, why in this case, it's like you look vexed over something.
Well, I don't know why for vex. Why you don't pull them before now? If you begin a vex, why you maintain them until the first term done?
But now election come. Sometimes something don't happen along the way where we not going to question them because I own prerogative that day.
So now make me say it good because it happened under former President Kroma, and it happened back under President Bio. They sack very high-placed public officials without giving the public any reason why they were sacked. I mean, we don't see a lot of under Bio, we don't see a lot of people being removed, but they never state the reason. And the president is, although they say now, the president say in a servant leader, and then that is not being humble enough. You are the people's servants. We know you are the president, you are the leader, but you are a servant to the people. You don't say being a servant leader. If you're a servant leader, then you are not a servant. Right? You are a leader for yourself.
So how possible you get two positions the same thing?
Exactly, but I was saying a servant, you're a servant leader. Come on. It's the first time I'm hearing that phrase, and it's coming from President Bio. When a servant leader. No, you are a servant. Because these are the problem. When they apply for kind of office, now we recruit, now we employ President Bio. Now we employ all the members of the cabinet. Now we employ them. They are our employees. So they are answerable to us.
All right. So let me look at this issue in a twin one, and this could be the last topic we will talk about. According to the Freetown Post, let's just project and quickly people MCM. According to the Freetown Post newspaper, they basically talk about the consumer, inflation rate. It say consumer price inflation rises to 44.43%. But again, let's join with this other issue quickly. Where I think say a good nice follow we talk about. Premier News get this one we say. What some Sierra Leoneans expect the government to focus on in 6 months. So, if you did watch and you observe, what do you think say this could be? Taking into consideration what Freetown Post don't put, inflation don't go now to 44.483% or so, and then now what people they expect from the government in the first 6 months.
Okay, so are you saying the inflation don't go down or up? I'm not getting that.
Well, it rises. If you say rises, it means it don't go up. Let's just yes. Wow. Consumer prices inflation rises to 44.43. Okay. It means it go up.
Wow. Well, Jacob Dusu Safa, well, occupied the position of chief minister. Well, if you didn't agree democracy. They say this time around, if they come back to power, they will fix the economy in 3 months' time.
3 months.
That's what I say. 3 months. That's what I say. 3 months' time. You understand? So if people are laughing, they say, "But we never been talking before." So when I follow the kind of number, a few more times they fix the economy. It was never fixed. They look at this now. Well, President Bio, this is a direct message to President Bio. President Bio, you have won. Albeit controversially, although many people are not going to talk that, but controversially because of the kind of monitoring report that will come out questioning the transparency, credibility, and integrity of the process, right? So it's a controversial winning. So what I'm going to say is that President Bio, for say the people of Sierra Leone are not ready to settle for anything less. President Bio for giving the utmost output in second term. Utmost output in this second term. We cannot settle for 35.5%. Although when President Bio go out, he said he don't do 100% of what he promised and even go more than that. But when the independent IGR body come up with their own report, they say 35.5%. So why would the president say, or why would the president overblow his own achievements? I mean, as against the independent research report of 35.5%. This is not right. So President Bio has plenty work to do in these 5 years. I mean, it's not about 6 months. It's not about 6 months. Although let's see what happens within this first 6 months, but it's about 5 years. What is President Bio going to achieve in these 5 years as contained in manifesto promises? Because mind you, the campaign manifesto promises have inflated they don't double what we did by first time campaigning, where it only delivered 35.5%. Now it don't increase them.
So quickly, IGR 35.5% and Madabio, I don't do all thing 100%.
And more.
Yeah.
And more.
And that's not the message we go with. Say don't do everything for people then.
So it is not so, according to the IGR reports. It is not so, right? But President Bio still gets what it takes for being a successful president. All he needs to do is to apply sincerity of purpose. He promised us a new direction. We have not seen that new direction in his first term. And people are doubtful whether that new direction will even come in this second term. So President Bio, please, you promised us a new direction. We want to move away from the old direction, be it in the House of Parliament, be it with the way the police they handle themselves, be it the way the military they handle themselves, be it the way ministers be it the way they face corruption, be it the way they open governance, transparent governance, right? What's going to happen under the APC? Do it. Make it different. Make it new. Otherwise, you met us in the old direction and you are leaving us in the same old direction, which means it's a mark of complete failure. Right? Mm-hmm. And deceitfulness on his part. Because you promised us this, and you have all what it takes. You have all the resources. Right? They want to see that they budget trillions of dollars, and then they even go back for supplementary budgets. Yet, certain MDAs do not have the required capacity for perform effectively. Now, President Biose in the camp ensures in strengthening the public service. The only way possible is to give them their dues. If you don't budget 5 million for this ministry, make sure the ministry gets up. But some ministry then, they are not able to operate effectively because they don't get the required funds. So who said all the money to go? Where is the money going? So that's a $1 million question. Where is the money going?
Because they cannot make budget for everybody for don't get. But then people they don't even get first quarter. Then the ministry go back and ask for additional money.
Exactly.
Anyways.
And when Barack Obama came to Africa, in Ghana specifically, he said Africa don't need strong men. Africa needs strong institutions. But even when President Bio will go out in the campaign as a strong man, I'm like, one music where we dance, the conqueror, the lion is here. I mean, when you see the probably dance, all kind of dance that not only that music, the probably dance, but we don't even know what's in the meaning of the song. We don't even know. But now President Bio they dance all over the place. The conqueror, the lion. No, Salon needs lion. We don't need conqueror. We need a humble president who knows exactly what's in the pan and take the country to the new direction what you promised we. We don't need a lion. We don't need a conqueror. No. We don't need a conqueror. We don't need that. We don't need a strong president, a strong man. No, we need strong institutions. So President Bio should make
so we need visionary president.
As strong as possible.
We need visionary president for set up strong institutions.
Oh yes, exactly. That's what we need. We're not a lion. We don't need a lion. We're all man a panic pan. We're going to be afraid of an school man. Now make an school man fail. We see what happened by the APC, the convention. Now you appoint the flag bearer. Now you appoint the running mates. Can you imagine that? Who can think that?
No, but we see. I think we did the same taste way and has been get at that particular point. Now Madabio get so now because you find out in their own convention, nobody no contest against them. Go on endorsement when the constitution not say that, and then you come to the mayoral candidate for Freetown. They're not going to contest for them. Only and solely in WEF now they decide for put up there as the mayoral candidate because I WEF fought and then he endorsed. So now the same taste with 20 with the see from waiting be happen before.
Exactly.
Whereas nobody well now this time they talk, nobody no will stand up for talk against Madabio in decision because they feel safe they do so they pull them the next minute.
Okay, now according to what we know is that the events outside Prince Harding and others, they go say President Bio is their flag bearer for this election.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the event for elect or appoint a flag bearer.
Mm-hmm.
There be an event for go appoint regional or national officers, not flag bearer, not flag bearer. But for that event day, if a man never the pet saying I'm not going to nominate the president, I'm not going to nominate him. It was not supposed to have been at that event.
And it's not supposed to be nomination.
Exactly. That would be even Yeri say one other guy will be interested in the flag bearership in the threat for going to court.
And he appeared on television talking about them. And after we the high lawyers appear with them, they will not hear nothing but the man
again. In other words, President Bio bulldozed his way. He's the bulldozer. He bulldozed his way. And he has his people around him, Prince Harding them, this and that. Malaka Prince Harding, he has nothing to offer to Sierra Leone. He has nothing. He is benefiting from Sierra Leone far more than he can offer. And most of them, they are benefiting far more from the country than they can offer to the country. That's a disservice. It's a clear disservice to the nation. So the America say,
Sir Benda, thank you very much. What make you say?
Say that again.
Now I make you say, you just want to say something.
Oh no, it's okay. When I say President Bio for treat this second term very seriously, however controversial it is, right?
So okay, quick one. In the last 5 years, you not treat and seriously.
Well, the campaign, according to the IGR report, 35.5%.
So normally, what we can see, the president can do very well. The president can do well in the first term than how he always do in the second term. If President do not do well in the first term, you think they will do well in the second term?
Yes, it is very possible. It is very possible. Sincerity of purpose.
How sincere you feel say it be?
No, it's up to him to manifest that. He should manifest that he is serious about this his second term. President Former, for the first term, we all know he did exceedingly well.
And then second term, it broke
exceedingly well. Second term, he became so corrupt, he became so bossy, he became so vindictive, he became everything negative. I don't know what happened. He failed and his party went down with him.
All right.
That's what we are saying.
First term of
sincerity of purpose.
First term of President Bill 35%. How much we could get for it?
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad.
Thank you very much for joining inside the program this morning. I think it's amazing for that we actually get your analysis from a general point of view. What's that if you say the thing and so if you go and so you put them? What's that if you go this way and so if you put them? That is it.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, they brand me. Under the APC, when APC been in power, they sent me an SFP. They locked me 3 times. I was locked up 3 times for doing nothing, just for being critical. Just for being critical. Now, they send me an APC because I am also being critical. And the same people, maybe they praised me yesterday, now that they condemn me, they say me don't turn APC. How can I be APC, bro? I can never be APC or SLPP. Even for this voting, I voted in protest. I voted for a candidate I knew was not even going to be in the first 3. I voted for Relief. I can never in my life vote for APC or SLP in the first rounds. Never. When a runoff comes, we'll look for the lesser evil. But unfortunately, no runoff.
All right. Thank you very much, Theophilus Sabenda, for joining inside the program this morning. We appreciate your time with me, like always. We look forward again for getting another beautiful discussion with you like this one. Then said today na okro soup na you give you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks to the producer, Elias Abba. We actually don't give you this kind of program we get to today. He's responsible for put together the guests, responsible for a few other things. Then, my name is the Freedom Fighter. If you don't like the program, please consider for do so. And you will like, share, and you will view and comment. Thank you very much. You will subscribe. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Well, if you're not subscribers, please consider for do so on both platforms, YouTube and Facebook. Please now for like and share if you're not done do so yet. My name is the Freedom Fighter. See you again, Annette, and for another beautiful edition of a program what we call We Are. Love you all so much, so much. And on Saturday, we get Imran T, where na in the sidom na the platform na net for TEO analysis on the election. And I know Imran T will be with you on Saturday. Well, I think that Imran T alone will get for this. So they do monologue on Saturday. Yeah, monologue na Imran T they do on Saturday, and I just Imran T. Thank you very much until then. My name is Pierre. God bless you all.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors.